Video games are my favorite form of entertainment, and it's so disappointing that I have to wait every once in a blue moon for a game with a character that looks like me. The industry has gotten better at this in the past couple years, but it's still pretty small in the grand scope of things. We have video games starring black characters and telling a black narrative, but not really so oddly, none of these characters were created by a black studio. Mafia 3, Gears of War, Dishonored 2, Grand Theft Auto, Dendara, Final Fantasy VII, upcoming Beyond Good and Evil 2. All games featuring black characters, but developed by white or Japanese developers. As I had mentioned in my Black Panther review, it would be fantastic if we could get a AAA title on par with Black Panther. I love video games, but it's crazy how there are really no black people in the medium and no significant games developed by black people. In every other medium, we can name people like Zayn or Octavia Butler in literature, Motown or Def Jam Records for music, and let's not forget a whole bunch of musicians. We have people like Spike Lee, John Singleton, Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Issa Rae for TV. When it comes to video games, nobody really. And I say it's long overdue. It would be astounding if we could get a big budget game with black people in charge and seething of black culture. I thought it'd be fun to theorize what a game like this would be like. Firstly, I have to ask, what kind of game would this be? While Black Panther was a celebration of where all black people can trace their roots, Africa, I want this game to be a celebration of black culture across the diaspora. I'm going with an action-adventure title. Something that can offer a little bit of multiple genres and have a bit of a more mainstream reach without it being too mainstream, if that makes sense. You'll have the choice to play as a boy or a girl who gets swept in a magical journey that takes them from the UK to the US, the Caribbean, and South America. You can customize your character throughout the journey, and there'll be tons of hair options, far from just afros and cornrows with no hang time like we usually see. And there'll be dozens of skin tone options, and the brown ones will not have that weird glossy look to them that most games do. Now, a game of this magnitude needs a strong team, and since this is my game, I'm putting myself to lead the development, but I'll need some help, so I'm also recruiting Momo Pixels to help me out. Momo Pixels released a game last year called Hair Now, which went viral. She designed the game, created the pixel art for it, and organized the team. She also works at an advertising agency as an art director, so she has some experience in that as well. Speaking of art, I want a very distinct art style for this game. Nothing particularly cartoony, I want realistic portions in here. I know a game of this magnitude will have multiple artists and animators, but for my choice of a distinct art style, these are the people I will go to. My first choice is Free Mechanism. I started following this Chicago artist on DeviantArt years ago, and currently following him on Instagram. He has a very distinct, almost comic book look to his art style that I see just a tiny bit of Saka in it. I'm in love with both his sci-fi and grand designs. I'd love to have him on this team. Another artist I'll go with is Matahan, real name Paul Davey. Now Matahan already has experience working in video games as a plus, as he's been working on a runner called Earth Knight, which will release sometime this year. Matahan was my favorite artist to watch at one point, and I definitely wouldn't mind having him on my team. Adrian Wilkins. He has experience working on games like Matahan, but what Matahan does not have is experience working on a AAA game, as Adrian Wilkins was a concept artist for Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, we need an art director to manage this team, and while Momo Pixels is an art director, she's not an art director of a video game studio, but someone who is Lisette Titre Montgomery. She is the current art manager at Double Fine and was the art manager at Ubisoft before then. She has been on the cover of Black Enterprise 2011 and this issue of SS Magazine, to give you a little bit more of her credentials. Someone's gonna have to write the story of this game. This took me quite a while to think about. I don't read a lot of black authors who write science fiction and fantasy, but I have been meaning to correct that. And most of the ones I have read, I didn't like their work. The ones I do are Octavia Butler, who's deceased, Naniti Okorafor, author of the Benti books, but I don't think she's a right fit for this, and Roxane Gray, who wrote the World of Wakanda comic. And like Needy, I don't see her fitting with this. Looking at TV and film didn't give me better results, but then I came up with something. It might be weird, but I think Donald Glover could write a weird but funny fantasy adventure given his writing skills in Atlanta. We're going to need some voice acting on this project, and this was even harder for me than the writer. There aren't many black voice actors in gaming, and looking outside of gaming, I'm just particularly unfamiliar with voice actors. But I do know that I want Cree Summer on my team. I'm just nostalgic for her because of A Different World and all the cartoon characters she did in the 90s. Plus, she's already done some game work as she was Tajana in Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits, Dr. Young in Batman Arkham Asylum, and Belgemine in Final Fantasy X. Beyond her, I really don't know who I want. I know there's black girl who voiced Painwheel and Skullgirls, but that's all I know her from, basically. And I don't know, that's not enough for me to go on. But leading away from that, now this team will need a lot of programmers like any really massive video game. I really don't know who to put for this. I remember seeing a black guy that programmed at Naughty Dog in an Uncharted 2 behind the scenes video in the game. And since he worked on something as big as Uncharted 2, he'd be a good fit. But there's really no one else I have in mind. This really category isn't really all that important to me though, in the grand scope of things. I want this game to have a dope ass soundtrack too, filled with a mix of Caribbean, Afrobeat, and hip hop sounds, but still sounding video gamey at the same time. I looked around, I didn't find much that I liked, but my two candidates for this are 2 Mello, who's currently making music for the upcoming fighter called Cerebral, which has some of the best music I ever heard in a video game. And I'm not sure how to pronounce this name right, but it's Rekadam. I found him through Twitter. He does a lot of chiptunes. I like music. He's pretty decent from what I listen to. I just wish there were more people I had to pick from. I was also thinking about a lot of black producers, like hip hop producers and stuff like that, but I just couldn't think of anybody who might fit doing a video game, because some video game music has that sound to it, but at the same time it has its own distinct sound to it, if you know what I'm talking about. Alright, but going on, now the ones I mentioned above are the ones I want in charge of specific parts of the game. For other parts of the game I didn't talk about, like UI, marketing, and sound design, I'm not too picky on. There could be plenty of white people or non-black people working on these. After all, Black Panther was not made 100% by black people. But yeah, this is the game I want, and these are the people I want to head this team. So what do you think about this? Or is there anybody that you think would fit well for it? How would you make the game? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like, and I'll see you later. Oh, one thing before I go, what other kind of videos would you like to see me make? I'll also put that in the comments down below as well. Alright, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.